If you want to blow up your bankroll and make consistent cash this summer betting on baseball, you need to make sure you're implementing the 3 tips that I share with you in this video. You see, I found the key to attack this one particular market, but only the sharps and the pros know about this strategy. Like John Hyslop from OddsJam, taking this $10 profit boost from FanDuel and cashing this ticket in for over $9,300. There is a secret formula that will put more money in your pocket, and it's so powerful that most sharps will only share it with their close friends. I've heard those conversations and been in those Discord chats, so it's no surprise that very few know and take advantage of this strategy. I'm going to tell you the exact market and the sportsbook that you should look out for so that you can make easy cash betting on baseball all throughout this summer and fall. Because I will warn you, if you skip just one of these tips, it's going to be the reason why you're not seeing the strategy succeed. But first, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to beat the sports books. We upload videos every week teaching you how you can become a profitable sports bettor, and you're not going to want to miss a video. The first tip, when you're looking to find an edge betting on baseball this summer, there are some recreational sports books that are sharp in certain particular markets. And when I say recreational sports books, I mean DraftKings, FanDuel, or Caesars. I believe most of the time these sports books are not very sharp, but I'm using a software like OddsJam that helps me find plays with an edge. So there are certain markets that OddsJam just consistently shows these books are very stale, and I just bet these markets time and time again and make consistent cash. Now, one of these markets that I was consistently betting in, I was struggling. So I dug deeper, talked to some sharps, and I found the key and I flipped the switch, and since then I haven't looked back. Now for tip number 2, talking to various sharps and looking back at my historical betting data, I found out over the last 2 baseball seasons, I was getting absolutely smoked betting on mainline pitcher prop strikeouts. And what I've come to learn is that FanDuel is very sharp on the mainline pitcher strikeout props. Now looking at this Yankees-Mets game, there are 2 sports books that I constantly lean on when betting on player props to see if there's any value or a sharp play out there, and that's Pinnacle and BetOnline. Now normally I would disregard FanDuel's lines, but now that I know that FanDuel is very sharp, I use them as a third reference. So the example here would be Garrett Cole under his 5.5 strikeouts. FanDuel has this at -104, BetOnline at -110, Pinnacle at -128, so they all see this as a favorite. We would want to attack this over at Caesars at +106, BetMGM or BetRivers at +105. There's awesome value here. So what I really love to do is go hunting on my own. I don't always rely on the positive EV tool to find me these plays. So again, here looking at Mitch Keller of the Pirates under his 5.5 strikeouts, Pinnacle sees this as a favorite at -124, BetOnline +105, FanDuel +104. This is a great play over at Fanatics at +125, and it's not too shabby over at BetRivers at +114. 2 more examples over here on the Phillies and Tigers game. As you can see for Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts, Pinnacle, BetOnline, and FanDuel all have this as a heavy favorite. Really solid value over at Flipped, and the same with Skubal for the Tigers over 6.5 strikeouts. Pinnacle, BetOnline see this as maybe just a slight hair of an underdog. Same with FanDuel, but we can get great value over here at BetMGM. So an example of where I would find myself in trouble back in the day would be on Mitch Spence right here over 4.5 strikeouts. I would say, ooh, this is an outlier here on FanDuel compared to Pinnacle and BetOnline. Nowadays, I believe FanDuel is super sharp on mainline pitcher strikeouts, so I just avoid this bet altogether. Now, looking at this Dodgers-White Sox matchup, for Chris Flexen, this would be something that I would just completely ignore and move on from, because all the books are a little all over the place in terms of they don't really know if his line should be at 3.5 or at 4.5. And sometimes you can find some value, like in this case, maybe the under 4.5, because Pinnacle sees this at -229. But normally when I'm looking for plays to attack, I like to see Pinnacle, BetOnline, and FanDuel all aligned on their odds together on one line. When it's a little jumbled like this with Flexen, this is something that I just avoid. Now, before we jump into tip number 3, what's your favorite type of wager to make when you're betting on baseball? Comment down below. For me, it's the first half run line and pitcher strikeouts. Also, if you want to try OddsJam 1 week for free and then save 35% off your first month when you sign up, use my code BILLYC. It'll be linked in the description. It helps support me and also gives you an awesome discount. So we know that FanDuel is very sharp on mainline pitcher strikeouts. Well, tip number 3 is absolutely going to blow your mind. That same book, FanDuel, that is so sharp on mainline pitcher strikeouts, is so exploitable on the alternate line pitcher strikeouts. I'm not sure who's running the odds and setting the prices for the alternate lines, but they are so off compared to the rest of the market. Let me show you. So over here, looking at the Blue Jays Red Sox matchup, guys, something important to note. Pinnacle doesn't set alternate pitcher strikeout lines, but BetOnline does. So they are our source of truth. So for Kevin Gausman right here, we just click on show alternate lines. The main line is at 5.5. So we just scroll down a little bit past that. And when you can see for his over 7.5, that BetOnline has this at plus 243 and FanDuel has this at plus 440. They are just way higher compared to the rest of the market. So if we wagered $100, we would receive $243 back from BetOnline. We would receive $440 back on FanDuel for the same exact bet. That's almost a $200 difference. So when I hit up the Dinger Tuesday promos from FanDuel that I love, and I get back those bonus bets, this is where I love to sprinkle $5 to $25 of a free bonus bet or just my own funds on this play. So two great examples right here, looking at the Pirates-Reds matchup. The main line for Hunter Green is at 6.5, but as we scroll down, there's fantastic value on the over 9.5. So again, this is a bit of a long shot, but this is how John Hyslop took a $10 profit boost from FanDuel and turned it into over $9,300. Fantastic value as FanDuel is just priced this much higher compared to the rest of the market. Same thing here for Mitch Keller. His main line is at 5.5. As we scroll down, again, the over 8.5 strikeouts, BetOnline has this at plus 429. We can get this at plus 600 at FanDuel. So when we're over here on FanDuel looking to find these plays, guys, you're just going to want to come scroll down from the popular tab, go to Mitch Keller, and then we're looking for his over 8.5 strikeouts, so 9+ strikeouts at plus 600. Same thing here, guys, with Kevin Gausman. We're looking for his over 7.5 strikeouts, so 8 strikeouts or more. Then I have a $25 bonus bet right here on FanDuel. So if we hit on this, we're going to make $920, and there's no reason why both of these pitchers can't go out tonight on the bump and absolutely shove. And we know we're getting an insane price compared to the rest of the market. No other sportsbook is going to pay us out as much as FanDuel will for this 2-leg parlay. So this is another way of how I love to use my bonus bets and particularly attack FanDuel on their alternate line pitcher strikeouts. So to recap for tip number 3, we're always going to be betting on the over for alternate line pitcher strikeouts. Again, guys, we're not putting a ton of money down on these plays, but a little sprinkle, and especially if you have a bonus bet, or maybe FanDuel offers that 30% same game parlay boost. As you saw in that Pirates-Reds example, that would have been a great time for us to go after Hunter Green and Mitch Keller. And while I normally don't advocate for betting on parlays, when you're finding plays that have an incredible edge and a great price compared to the rest of the market, and then you're pairing them together with the same sports book, that is a recipe for success when it comes to parlay betting. So the beauty of this, guys, is it really boils down to you as a sports bettor. If you want to keep things conservative, then just stick with tip number 2 and go after the mainline pitcher strikeouts. Use FanDuel as your guide. Or if you want to get a little wild and loose with it, then go after tip number 3. You don't have to put together a 2 or 3 leg parlay when you're finding these alternate lines. You could just bet this straight and get a great price on its own in cash. I wanted to give you some different options, so it depends on how aggressive or conservative you want to be as a sports bettor. Now you have the tips to absolutely dominate the pitcher strikeout market for baseball this season. But if you don't have a solid betting strategy, then what I shared with you is only going to take your gains so far. Click this video right here that is a betting strategy that I used for 6 straight profitable months that yielded me over $18,000. I break down step by step how I execute this strategy so that you can implement this into your repertoire and start earning right now.